Morning, guys. That's okay.
We had to check. We didn't want to.
Yeah, exactly, right? Morning, guys. After a short turnaround, thanks for joining us. I think what makes most sense, because they do have ice time at Quinnipiac after this, is we'll take the questions for the players and then let them get back and then finish up with Rand. So let's start with, we have microphone holders here. Let's use the microphones for the players. Jocko, we'll start with you. Start with you. First question? Oh, no questions? Okay. Well, you're the dean. I mean, you're the dean of the media
Come on,
department
Jocko.
here.
Nothing? Wow. Wow.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Bill Cloutier, New Haven Register. For Zach, I don't know if you got a chance to watch Yale play yesterday, but the coach was saying that this is a different team that you faced about 4 weeks ago. If you did get a chance to watch, what was your impression of their number one line and how you're going to approach stopping them tomorrow?
Well, I mean, I think it's definitely true. They're playing on a different level of hockey right now. Obviously, they've won some impressive games, including last night. But I think our approach doesn't change. You know, we've played the same way all year. We've played some very good lines, some very good players, and some very good teams. And you know, we play our hockey. We play the way we want to play, and that's how we're gonna take care of that.
Okay. Further questions for the players? Okay, right back here.
Brian Lippeter, Quinnipiac Chronicle. For any of the players, even though this is a game, you know, a rivalry game against Yale, going off the previous question, do you approach it just as if it's any other game and try to do what you always do?
Jordan?
I think the fact that it's a rivalry game is kind of irrelevant. I mean, right now both teams are competing for a national championship, and that's kind of what comes first. Obviously, you know, they are our rivals, but I don't think anyone's thinking about that. They're thinking about winning a national championship.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the fact that it is a national championship game, the emotions and everything are definitely going to be raised, and I think that the fact that it is between two teams that are so close to each other just makes it even more exciting. But I think we're going to be ready for it. We're going to use that to our advantage.
Zach, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I think it's funny. We got asked that question, you know, going into this weekend. What if it happened, you and Yale, in the championship? And you know, our answer is the same each time. We don't care who it is as long as we're in that game. So I think that stays true. We want to win that national championship, and it didn't matter who was in it.
Okay.
Julie Robenheimer, Hockey Buzz. When you came to Quinnipiac, you were essentially building blocks. You came to build a program into something that people could be proud of. Now that you're here, looking back, did you ever actually think that this was a possibility for you guys to achieve in your time at Quinnipiac?
Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that was a goal, and coming here, I knew that this program was definitely just waiting to get to that point, and the coaching staff did a great job of getting the right players here, and beginning of this year, we kind of sat down and realized that we really had something special here, and it's just been amazing to see how much we've achieved this year, and to get to the national championship game, we're looking forward to it.
Zach?
I think more than anything, it was just the culture that we have at Quinnipiac and at the rink that we come to every day. When we first came, you know, we were a long way from this point, but you know, it was apparent that we were working for everything we got, and it was the ultimate goal, obviously, for any team. So I think whether it was a goal at that point, we knew we were going to work towards it and hopefully get there.
Jordan?
I haven't been a part of Quinnipiac as long as these guys. This is my first year playing, second year at the university, but I know when I was looking at schools to transfer to that I knew that this team had the potential. You know, when I was talking to Coach Pecknold and the rest of the coaching staff, they told us about the great players that we had there coming in, and by the time that I'd be able to play, that we'd be able to do something special. And I mean, obviously you dream about making it to this level, and I knew it was possible, but it's one thing to think that it's possible, and it's another thing to get there.
Did you guys see any of the pictures of the celebration on your campus last night?
We heard about the tear gas.
Oh.
So big night for Quinnipiac. No question.
Fine, right here, sir. Oh, we lost the mic. I know we had a little audio feedback, guys are working through here. What do we, oh, okay, right here, and then we'll come back over here.
Shelley Anderson from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Just curious what you guys, maybe some of you already had some familiarity, what do you guys think of Pittsburgh, and what have you done that's fun since you've been here?
Zach?
Well, I mean, we've been here for a singular reason. So we haven't gotten too much, out into the Pittsburgh area, but it's been great. We've had a lot of hospitality. The people have been great, and we've been having a great experience. We couldn't ask for more. So, yeah, it's been awesome.
Jordan?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we got to go see Heinz Field the day before we played, which was nice, especially as someone who loves football. And obviously coming here, I think this is maybe the newest rink in the NHL, and it's a beautiful facility. And downtown Pittsburgh, obviously, for me, it's my first time seeing it. And it's a really nice city. It's really clean, and what Zach said, I mean, the hospitality's been great. The people have been great. I mean, it's been a great experience.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo what these guys said. Everyone's been so nice to us here, and we got to do some cool things, see Heinz Field, and a couple guys walked over to the Pirates Stadium and stuff. So I've been to the city before, and it's a great city, and we thank you guys for hosting this.
Coach, what have you done that's fun here in the city?
We had a nice win last night. That's my that would be my top of my list. But no, we haven't. I mean, our schedule's been busy with the media and everything else, so we haven't done as much. But it's a gorgeous city. I've been really impressed.
Sir.
Hi, Jeff Jacobs, Hartford Current. You guys are facing the biggest game of your lives to this point. I was wondering what your confidence level is having Eric Hartzell in goal for you at this point.
Jordan?
Pretty high. I mean, he's been the backstop of our team the whole year. He's bailed us out when we come out flat, and when we're playing good and he's playing good, we're a pretty tough team to play against. So a lot of confidence having him back there. He played a great game last night, and I know he's going to carry that over to Saturday night as well.
Zach, any confidence in Eric?
A ton. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, anytime you have a goalie back there like of his caliber, it makes it just everything easier. It makes your life easier as a defenseman personally, and I'm sure even as a forward. So, it's awesome having a guy back there. I think it goes both ways. We make his life easy, he makes our life easy, and keeps that confidence up.
Jeremy, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Eric's been amazing for us, and he's confident right now, and when he's confident, the rest of the team's pretty confident, and he's been amazing for us, and we look forward to taking that into tomorrow.
Hi, Rebecca Castagna, Quinnipiac Bobcat Sports Network. My question's for you, Jeremy. How does it feel to be here this weekend and get your 100th point? Does that take any pressure off of the next game, or is it just really cool?
I mean, it was definitely good to kind of get that monkey off my back, and couldn't have happened at a better time for me in such a pivotal game. And but I think it's more than just the team aspect of it, being able to score in a game like that to help your team. And I think that it is good to have that happen, but I'm just so happy for the team to have won and to be moving on.
In front here.
Scott McLaughlin, College Hockey News. Zach, you guys have an older defensive core, a lot of seniors back there. Can you just talk about what's made you guys so successful this year? Is it that experience? Is it the system? Is it just chemistry? Just what is it that's allowed you guys to be so successful?
I think it's kind of a perfect storm. Obviously, the experience that we've played together for so long is a big part of it. But I mean, we have a lot of forwards that kick into our defense. Our system's obviously been working for us. We love those. We're a high octane, high pressure defense as a team. I think it's all just together. The age, the experience, and the systems together have just been they just came together at the right time.
Further questions for the players over here, Andy?
Guys, we've talked a lot about the positives of can you believe you're here? Could you believe that this would be possible, et cetera, et cetera. But there's sort of a flip side to that you guys have been very good for most of this year and maybe not quite getting the credit even when you were number one. And it seemed like there were a lot of doubters. Do you guys have a chip on your shoulder that you feel like you have something to prove by being here that you maybe need to live up to what people were kind of, criticizing you for or doubting you for at all?
Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did kind of receive that from some of the other leagues, and having 2 ECAC teams in this just kind of shows you what type of league it is. And I think when it comes down to a game like this, when you get down to 2 teams, that kind of just goes out the window, and you're just kind of focused on the game at hand.
Jordan?
Yeah, building off the last thing Jeremy said, I think at this time of year you can't really get wrapped up on what the outside says. I mean, all that matters is that the 28 guys in your locker believe that you can do it, and any disrespect that we get from any leagues or teams or coaches, it doesn't really matter as long as we believe we can do it and we reach our goals.
Zach?
Yeah, no, I think they said it pretty well. I think at this point we've put that behind us, and if they still want to doubt us, then that's okay. But I think we've proved to ourselves that we're here, and we're here for a good reason, and we're happy.
Hey guys, Kyle Brennan with the Waterbury Republican. Jordan, it seems like whenever you score this year, it's a big lift to the team emotionally. I mean, you score, we all know about your celebrations, you really love getting into that, but when you have a few minutes, like you started the game last night, do you get a sense that the team really feeds off you in particular?
I'm not going to say that they feed off me in particular. I think anytime anyone goes out there and works hard or makes a play, I think that's what kind of rallies the guys. I know if I see Jeremy out there or Pekka and they make a great play, I want to go out there and do the same. So, guys can rally around me if that's, what it takes for that night, or Hartzell or Jeremy. It's just, I think our team is so deep that anyone can kind of have that position, and just last night just happened to be with me.
Anything else for the players? Okay, in the back here. Magic.
Rich Coppola, Fox, Connecticut. Zach, I thought Yale did a pretty good job on their forecheck last night, getting in on the D pretty quickly. Do you think one of the keys is the ability of the defenseman to move the puck quickly and get it out of your own zone?
Certainly, I mean that's a key for us every night. We want to go north, we want to play with pace, and we want to get that puck up to our forwards. So I mean, I don't think anything changes there for us. Obviously they've been doing a good job of that, so it's going to be extra important. But yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a big part of the game.
Okay, right here in front. Here's a mic.
Mike Anthony, Hartford Current. For each player, if you wouldn't mind commenting, having gone 3-0 against Yale to this point, do you think that boosts your confidence going into the game, boosts their motivation level at all, or does it not play in either way heading into the championship game?
Jeremy.
I think each team's going to be very motivated tomorrow, but I think our record so far against them kind of goes out the window in a game like this. I think more than anything, just playing a team so many times, just you kind of get the feel of what they do good and what we do good, and we know what we have to do to be successful in a game against them, and we look forward to doing that.
Jordan?
Yeah, I think it also goes out the window. I mean, the Yale team that we're going to face tomorrow night's completely different than the team that we've played earlier in the year. They're clicking at all cylinders at the right time, goaltending, defense, and offense. So I think our record against them doesn't matter. We just need to outcompete them and outbattle them and hope for good results.
Zach?
Yeah, again, I really can't add much to that. I completely agree. Those games are irrelevant now. We both know what the other team's going to bring, and the stage and what's at stake is going to be way bigger than any games that we've played so far. So it's completely different.
All right, guys, we'll let you go. Thanks very much. Thank you. And we'll continue on with your questions for Rand. Okay, Jim, right here.
Jim Conley, U.S. College Hockey Online. What Yale did to Lowell to slow them down last night in scouting, how much do you think that can impact your game? Because you seem kind of similar to Lowell in terms of team speed and you liking to use that speed.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch all of the game. We had to deal with some of the things with our team, our pregame meeting. I did watch the first period and a little bit of the second, and I'll watch the rest of it on tape today. But you know, my feeling on that game was I thought Yale was, you know, played one of their best games of the year, and I thought Lowell just, you know, they were flat and they really struggled to get it going. So I think it was a combination of Yale playing well and Lowell struggling a little bit. But you know, with our matchups with Yale, you know, we know what they do well, and you know, we don't have to change a lot of what we've done all year. We want to stay the course and do what we do well. You know, and I know Yale's a very good transition team, as was St. Cloud, as was Nebraska Omaha. You know, as some of these other teams we've played this year, and we have good transition defense. We're not perfect, but we're pretty good at it. And I think that's going to be, you know, the key to the game. I thought it was one of the keys to the St. Cloud game.
Okay, right here in front, Nancy.
Nancy Marapes, Boston Globe ran. Could you speak to the whole thing about the ECAC and what this means for the conference potentially for no matter who wins the game tomorrow night?
Well, yeah, it's you know, I think it's great respect for our league. I mean, we, you know, take hits every now and again. That's what people want to do, you know. But it's tough to put us down this year. We got 2 teams in the national championship game. I talked about it last night. Our league's been great all year long, you know. And I mentioned, I'll say it again, like we were one in the pairwise this year because we had a great record. We had some great wins. And we have to be number 1 in the pairwise. Your league has to have great wins. We had great non-conference wins all year long. All the teams in our league did a great job. I haven't seen the final stats. I know for a while there we had the best non-conference record in the country. I don't know if we finished with that, but it was up there for a while. So, but I just think it's great respect for our league, and it is an excellent league. We have great players, great student athletes, and we play hard. We compete hard. We do, and all the teams in our league do. It's a great league, top to bottom.
Here in the front and in the back.
Hi, Coach. Thank you. Danielle Susie from the Quad News. Obviously, a huge season for the team and really putting Quinnipiac on the map a little bit with this victory. So how do you think this will change the face of Quinnipiac hockey and the university reputation as a whole moving forward?
Well, it's yet to be seen. I mean, we can't predict what's going to happen, but certainly the you know, the publicity and notoriety from the entire year, and then this is another step for us, has been great. You know, the ironic thing is our recruiting class was, we got our last kid in December, you know, before all this happened, like, and we love our class coming in, really happy with it. So we're not going to reap any of the immediate benefits with next year's team, but like I said, we're ecstatic with next year's class. But it will help us down the road with recruiting, and I think the other thing too is, like, as people watch us, I think we're a fun team to watch, and I think recruits, they want that. They want to, like some of the kids we have, like Connor and Kellen Jones and Pekka and Langlois. I mean, they come watch us. Like we go, we play hard, we compete, and it helps us whenever we can get a kid in to watch a game. And now we're on national television, so that's certainly going to help us from a recruiting standpoint.
In the back.
Coach Rick Houston, NCAA.com. You mentioned it last night. Jeremy mentioned it just a second ago that the Yale team that you're going to be playing tomorrow night is a different team than what you played a few weeks ago in Atlantic City. How are they different? Is it just a factor of momentum, or what is it?
I guess it's just confidence. You know, the Atlantic City weekend, they didn't seem to have a lot of confidence, and didn't have their best weekend. But they've got some high-end players. You know, from what I watched last night, and I have watched the Minnesota and North Dakota games that they won. I thought Agostino was great, and Miller does what he does. He's really good, and Root does what he does. Like, that's a great first line, and they're getting some balance from the other lines. And then Malcolm's, you know, making saves. I think that's the key, is if you can get goaltending, you can win a lot of hockey games. We've dealt with that all year, but Yale's, you know, they're on a run right now. So, and I know everybody's talking about the rivalry, and we were 3-0, and you know, will it motivate them? I mean, it's a national championship game. I don't think anybody needs any motivation. You know, both teams are going to be fired up, sky high, and it's all going to be about, you know, managing their emotions and controlling and dealing with adversity and trying to minimize the mistakes.
Okay, front here.
Scott McLaughlin, College Hockey News. Same question I asked Zach. Just what is it that makes your defensemen so successful? And is that something that you saw before the season, that they had the potential to be this good, or is that something that developed over the course of the year?
Yeah, no, we knew we were going to have a great decor. I think you know, there's a lot of things with our defensemen. I think first off, we have 4 senior defensemen, you know, and then Tolks is a junior and Feds is a sophomore. So it's you know, they're veterans, ton of game experience in those seniors, and you can't substitute for game savvy. and they deal with adversity well. They deal with adapting within the game. And when like last night, St. Cloud was running a little variation of a power play we haven't seen a lot last year, and we had to make adjustments. And I thought St. Cloud's first 2 power plays were awesome. I think they had 10 or 11 shots on it, and then the last 2, I think they got 1 shot. So I think we did a nice job of adjusting and adapting, and that's something that it's hard to teach freshmen. The second thing with our D-core is, Danny Federico has been great. Last year as a freshman, he was our 7. I think he played 16 games out of 40, and part of that just wasn't fair to him in that we had 6 really good D ahead of him. He probably should have got more games, but he's been awesome this year for us. He's probably our 2 or our 3, and that's big when you can have a freshman take that kind of jump to his sophomore year. And then lastly, I think our system allows our D to be effective in their roles. We try to put kids in good roles to be effective, and we do a really good job of puck retrieval. I think we do a good job in practice of working on things, and I think probably the best thing for our D-core is our practice habits are awesome, and our forwards go. Connor and Kellen set the tone with that. Matthew, Pekka, Langer are right behind them, and all our guys compete real hard in practice, and so they, all week long, they're going up against Jordan and Pekka and the Twins, and they're competing against kids like that, and then you get in the game, and you can handle the other team's best forwards. I think that's a big part of it.
Okay, back here and then over here.
Brian Lipner, Quinnipiac Chronicle. Same question I had for the players coach. Even though it is a rivalry with Yale, is your approach, is it just any other game for you guys?
It's not any other game, Brian. It's a national championship, so this is a big one, and I think we'll definitely do what we've done all year. We will spend a little bit of time on what we need to be effective against Yale, but ultimately we need to do what we do well, and we're really good at our game, and we need to stay the course. And it doesn't matter who we're playing. We can play the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow night. We're going to play the same way. We got to tweak things a little bit and make some small adaptations to shut down Yale in certain situations. But ultimately, we have to play our game. We're good at it, and we don't need to change anything.
I think they just clinched a playoff spot last night, didn't they? Canadians? Yeah. Good reference, Coach. Andy.
Andy Merritt again from the New England Hockey Journal. We've talked a lot about whether you believe this was possible X number of years ago, and et cetera, et cetera. We've asked the players some of that as well. But at the start of this year, maybe even before you guys started playing, did you get the sense that this group in particular was going to buy in, that this was a group of believers, that maybe more than even in past years when you have had some success, that these guys really, that they had the right mindset and they were kind of listening to what you had to say?
Yeah, there's no question. I knew this was going to be the best team we ever had, from a talent perspective, from a compete perspective. Was it going to be a veteran team? The kids, they definitely buy in. They listen. They do what's asked. And I know people all the time are like, well, why wouldn't everybody buy in? But it's hard to get 21, 22, 20-year-old kids to buy in. It's hard in the NHL, to get guys to back check and block shots and do little things. Well, everybody just wants to go score goals. So it's more difficult than you would think. But I knew we were going to be great this year. I knew we'd absolutely be top 20. Probably thought we'd be top 15 and had a really good chance of being in the top 10. But did I think we'd go to the Frozen Four and play in for national? I mean, I knew it was a possibility. But was I thinking like, hey, we're definitely going to do this? No, I mean nobody thinks that. It's really hard to get to this point. I think just always in general, like if you have a great goalie and you get in the tournament, if he gets hot, you can do anything. Kids prove that all the time. But to answer your question, I think I knew that we were going to be great this year. This good? No. But some things have happened that have really elevated us, and it's like a kind of a perfect storm. Everything's just worked our way.
Okay, the back.
Hi, Jen Menendez from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Rand, timing-wise, it sounds like none of these players played in the old rink that you guys did as a program.
Correct.
Do they have a sense of context of where you guys really came from? Have they ever stepped foot in the older rink? Do they know kind of what you guys went through as a program before how it is now?
Not really, no. I think some of them actually read some of the stories this year, and they were a little shocked. They didn't know how far we've come. So, but that's okay. And that's there. We've had building blocks all along the way. From our early Division 2-3 years. We had 4 years in that, and then the early years of the MAC, and we've just it's been a steady progression all the way up, and then you make the big jump to the ECAC, which was great for us, and then we open the rink in January of 2007. That's another big jump, and it feels like my 19 years has been a constant transition, and luckily for me, it's always been upward. We haven't gone backwards. So after this year, we'll see what happens. But it's all been good. But I don't think the guys really realize where we were and what we had. I still am in shock at some of the stuff from our early years, what we had to deal with. But it is what it is, and we moved on from it, and we're better for it.
Well, Rand, I think we've guilted Jocko into asking a question.
Excellent.
I just woke up.
Rand, this is actually, well, first of all, I want to compliment you on the way you guys have handled all these sessions. They're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Also, 2 questions. Yesterday you mentioned that it was going to be a game of 2 contrasting styles. So can you elaborate a little bit on that? And also, can you expand a little bit on how you got Federico, what you saw in him,
Yep.
you know, what's his upside on?
Is that you talking about St. Cloud Quinnipiac contrasting or Yale? Yale, yeah. Well, Yale I think is similar to St. Cloud. They transition well. Their forwards like to make plays. Both teams, you got LeBlanc, you got Miller. They love to get over the blue line, cutbacks, Gretzky curls, delays. Hit the late guy. I thought we did a pretty good job of taking that away from St. Cloud last night. Again, we weren't perfect, but I think you need to really be respectful of that. If you give those guys time and space, they will make plays and they will score goals. Yale's a really good offensive team, as St. Cloud was, and I think we're a really good defensive team. We're number 1 in the nation in goals against, number 1 in PK. We've been scoring goals lately, but I think I think our defense is what wins for us, and in a lot of ways our defense is our puck pressure and our attack mode that we're always in, and I think that's what makes us good. And then, Federico, sorry. Danny, Danny had a lot of schools on him, and I don't remember exactly all the schools. He's an excellent student. He had some Ivies that were talking to him, and we really liked him as a player, loved him as a kid. He's an awesome kid. He's an A student, gets great grades, and he's really just developed, and I couldn't be happier with him on the ice or off the ice. He is just an awesome kid, great character kid, and a big part of the reason why we're having success, and nobody knows about him, and he's fine with that. He flies under the radar, 'cause similar to like Zach Davies kind of flies under the radar, and now people are actually like, wow, that kid's pretty good. If you watch us every game, you're like, he's probably Quinnipiac's 2nd or 3rd best player. Doesn't quite get the press, but Feds is right up there. He's the same type of thing, quiet, does his job, and you need kids like that to win championships.
All right, we'll take one more, and then we'll let Coach go.
Nate Owen, U.S. College Hockey. I've heard the term perfect storm thrown around a lot just in terms of everything that's happened this year. But I remember in the preseason conference call you mentioned that the Twins and Pekka were definitely coming back. Was there any worry that they might leave, last offseason? Or?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I was, I think, there's a lot of things in college hockey that head coaches need to be good at. Recruiting is probably the main thing, is getting the players. And I would say now retention might be too, keeping your players. And, if you're the way the NHL is set up right now with the CBA and everything, it's just if those kids don't like their coach, if they don't like the school, if you don't win, it's real easy to turn pro quickly. And I think one of the not the most important, but the second most important thing we need to do as a head coach is make sure our kids, love where they are. They love the program, and I think that's why Connor, Kellen, and Pekka all came back. They love Quinnipiac. They love their teammates. They love the culture that we've created. They know we've got a good thing going here, and they're going to be patient with their professional careers. We've had multiple players over the year offered to leave early, and we've never had a kid leave. And it's funny, we had a recruiting battle last year, and 2 schools actually used that against us. They're like, well, Quinnipiac doesn't have kids sign early. You can come here and leave in 2 years. And I turned it around. I'm like, well, why don't they leave? And we actually won the battle on those kids. They were brothers, and so it's something that we're proud of. And again, if it's the right time for a kid to go, then that's fine. If Tampa Bay decides, hey, Matthew Pekka's ready, and we feel he's got a great opportunity, I'll drive him to the airport. But I think Tampa's been really good. They're patient. They know he needs to get bigger and stronger, and I'm hoping we get one more year out of him. Like he's getting better. You can't argue he's not developing for us. We're doing a great job of developing these kids. So the bigger worry is with the free agents, and they can go anywhere they want. But again, I think the retention's a big part of what head coaches have to do. And certainly you don't want to cater to those kids. You can't, you definitely can't cater to them because you're not going to make them a better hockey player. But you need to be professional with them and run a good program, and then your chances of them staying is much higher.
All right, Rand, thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.